Hello everyone. Thank you for your interest in this video. I wanted to point out a couple of things before it begins. One is that my wife and I are not professional counselors. We're not psychiatrists or psychologists. We're just a couple who've been married for 30 years, been together for 30 plus years. And we have some experience, and we've been asked to share our thoughts on relationship longevity, on marriage, and so forth. And I hope that you all find some value in this video, those of you who may have question or interest for one reason or another. The other thing that I would like to point out is the importance of communication. It's not specifically mentioned in this video, but we both find this to be paramount to any healthy relationship, any sort of relationship, but specifically marriage in this case. Anyway, again, I hope you enjoy the video and thank you for watching. Hello everyone, it's Exoman.
And Farm Girl.
And it is a lovely August day.
Yes.
And
almost sunset.
We're sitting here getting ready to watch a sunset, and we wanted to talk about marriage.
Love and marriage.
Love and marriage. And we have been...
We've been asked.
We've been asked.
Quite a few times.
So we're on our 30th year.
Mm-hmm.
Married, right?
Next year will be.
Next year we'll be married 30 years.
30 years.
And we've been together for...
Been together for 34 and a half years?
34 and a half years. So there's something we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But
then
we have found that with this, we've started getting a lot of questions.
Like, what's your secret? We're like,
yeah, everybody wants to know the secret.
We don't really have a secret
to marital bliss, and we have been caught kind of unprepared to answer those questions, and we feel remiss.
Yeah.
We have been wishing that we had more information, and so we kind of thought about it and talked about it, and we've put together some ideas, maybe some concepts that we think might hold some value.
It's what we do.
It's what we do, right.
It doesn't mean that it's going to be right for everyone.
Everybody's experience is different. I always say that.
Yeah.
But as far as the alignment of these two people and the way we see it, I could sum it up in one phrase. But we'll go a little further into it.
Let's hear it.
That phrase to me is generosity of spirit.
Yeah.
Now, what that means, generosity of spirit, you can look this term up, and there are definitions of it. It's always been in my mind. You know, I love that phrase because it means so much. But we'll talk about what it means. But first, I think you have to have it yourself. And you truly have it.
Oh,
and
do you.
Thank you. And you have to find this is our idea of good marital situation.
Yeah.
And you have to find a person who shares that type of spirit, who also has a generous spirit.
Yeah, like always trying to give more instead of take more.
Yeah, instead of a competition.
Yeah.
We recently explained it in that way.
Yeah.
So what makes a good marriage is basically, marriage is like a partnership, is it not?
It's definitely a partnership. And it's always going to take work. Yeah. It's not always going to be perfect, and you never fight.
There's no such thing as marital bliss.
Well, that would be
for all days of your lives, but overall, in the end, you can say this has been marital bliss. This has been blissful being married.
But you have to have the downs so you can know what the ups are. I mean, it's just...
So do we fight?
That way in life. Oh, yeah.
So people don't see that on camera. And
yeah, we don't show you guys that.
And it's not attractive.
And
not fun.
It's always like dumb. In the end, we're always like, why are we fighting about this?
You remember that time you watched a sitcom and I quoted you later. I wrote something because I had to remember what you said because it was awesome. you were watching the TV show and you were like, wow, these people, it was a situation, and it was a married couple.
Oh, yeah.
These people are really fighting. And
like about serious stuff.
A while later, you said it again. You're like, they're really into it. Like, they're really fighting about serious things. And then finally you're like, and I was just and finally you said,
honey.
we never fight about stuff like this. We always fight about dumb shit.
It's true.
So maybe that's a really good thing, and we do. We fight about really silly things.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing. That's a big blessing.
Definitely.
But it's terrible to have that. And a big part of that is what? A big part of fighting is, what would you say?
I mean, there's so many reasons, but you know,
but no,
like just
outcome-wise, I'm going for.
You want to be right.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be right, and there are some people.
No, don't tell me how to do it.
We're both that way. We both want to be right. We're both stubborn, but see, that's where you go back to values and compatibility.
I'm not like that anymore. I don't need to be right anymore.
She's getting better. I'm trying to get better.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. You're right.
but what I'm getting at is apology. The apology is so important.
He's really good at that.
I have met people, I have known people that are virtually incapable of apology. They cannot apologize.
Yeah.
You know people like that. You have family members like that.
No.
Oh, certainly not. But there are people who simply cannot apologize. We both find it absolutely necessary to be able to apologize.
Oh yeah,
don't
definitely.
you? And accept apologies. And my ne'er-do-well dad.
Forgive.
My ne'er-do-well dad was married 8 times.
I can't believe that. That's crazy. That's a lot.
In passing and crossing, I shared a beer with him at some point, and as a young adult, he said, "Never go to bed angry." And I don't know if that means anything to anybody. It doesn't really mean that much to me. You should try not to, but
yeah.
I don't know how much that.
I don't know.
We don't worry about that too much.
Advice from him after you heard that? I don't know.
Why would I want advice from that man?
But it's true. I mean, you should definitely always try and work things out.
You try to.
Well, I mean, it's going to keep you up if you don't. If you go to bed angry, you're not going to be able to go to sleep, right? Well, I'm not. Anyway.
So we met when we were kids. Mm-hmm. You were 19.
I was a teenager.
And I was 23.
23.
And you were in college. Mm-hmm. And we weren't compatible.
Yes, we were. Right away.
No, I mean, personality-wise we were, but financially we were from different.
Yeah, but who cares when you're in college?
Spectrums, you know. She was,
We're all trying to make it on our own.
Yeah. So we were. But that's interesting. We were completely from different social strata.
True.
You were. I considered you wealthy, and I was just.
I wasn't wealthy.
I had nothing. I had the clothes on my back.
I didn't want for anything. Well.
Right. By my standards.
Except for a Z28 when I was.
By my standards, by my standards, you were wealthy because you lived in a nice house.
Yeah.
It was a condominium.
I was blessed. And
you were getting a good education, and it was really cool. And I felt kind of guilty that I was like, that I worked my way in there. And,
what do you mean?
No, I don't know. You're.
I've never heard this before. We're all hearing this for the first time.
Not guilty. But people have, yeah.
How'd you
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, we need to start that.
So we met young, and I thought I was mature. I thought I was a very mature young man.
Do. When you're a kid, don't you know everything?
But I had a lot of growing up to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you have changed so much. I mean, we can be really silly and be kids at heart, but you especially have grown up.
Yeah. Well, I was in a lot of ways grown up because I had to do things as a kid that most people don't do till they're in their teens, late teens and 20s and 30s even.
He knows how to do everything.
But I had issues.
Yeah.
Fidelity was an issue. Dare we say that?
Dare we say that?
And there is where amazing patience came in.
True.
You were very, very forgiving of some egregious activity on my part.
You little.
Yeah. So I wanted to throw that out there because that's really important. We're talking about many, 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 many years ago.
Oh yeah.
And we were talking about a maturity thing.
Before we tied the knot.
So there, just let it be known that there can be these things in the backgrounds of people that they won't talk about.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important to talk about that. So I know we're all over the place, and
I knew that you would come around and be a good boy.
Isn't that amazing? So loyalty, maturity, those are really important things. I nearly destroyed the relationship because I was a young bartender, and I remember you telling me you were leaving and you went to Florida on spring break, and I was left to my devices.
I was like, all right, go have fun. I'm outie.
And that was almost a parting of the ways at the beginning, at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And so, but otherwise,
we worked through it.
We were aligned. We had similar.
We just had a lot of fun together always.
Yes.
And so it was like, maybe I'll just keep having fun, and we'll just maybe try and work it out. Maybe not. It wasn't really like we were looking to get married or anything.
If you watch
years.
Our channels, you will find two childlike people, I think. Mm-hmm. We have childlike qualities. Mm-hmm. That can be good, it can be bad, whatever. But we have a childlike jubilance. Mm-hmm. We approach life that way, and we always have, and that's been very healthy and good. Those are similarities. So I say, if you're looking for a person, find someone that you share values with, because if you
somebody that you like to do the same type of things,
mm-hmm.
and you just you can laugh at each other's jokes and stuff, mm-hmm. and not be like, ugh, you know, because I've seen that a lot, and I mean, that's not happy.
Yeah. So, but literally virtues and values. Hey, I would say if you're not aligned in that way, it's going to be a very rocky road, because mm-hmm. I might have a virtue or a value that you just don't hold, and you just don't care about that sort of thing. And that could always be a point of contention. So it's, I think, important to find somebody who you have a lot of similarities with, a lot of things in common, but if you I think the most important thing is to find out who you are, and if you are a generous and loving person, hopefully you are. If you want a relationship, and you need to find,
you're gonna have to be you have to be generous with yourself first.
Yeah.
Right?
So let's talk about that whole
love
generosity of spirit thing. That to me is, how often do I give you flowers and cards and things like that?
On my birthday.
But not very often.
Actually, my whole birthday month you were.
More so lately than back in years past. It really wasn't how I found. It wasn't my generosity.
Because you were just being generous every day.
To me, being generous is to love you and dote on you and give you compliments and take inspiration from you.
You're good at that.
And just be generous with my love. And that to me, and that may be wrong sometimes. Sometimes women might like these, trinkets and baubles.
The love is going to take the front seat.
A lot of people are symbolic, and we're not symbolic in that way. We are more into gesture and thought and praise and
true, yeah.
Just being demonstrative. Mm-hmm. And we're very fortunate that we can do that. We do it all the time.
Thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We express.
He's more thoughtful than I am.
Express ourselves with each other, and these are the things that I think have kept our marriage very
for us.
lively.
That's
so
definitely.
I think a compliment is more valuable than you realize sometimes. We forget how very valuable that is. Also, accepting a compliment gracefully is very valuable. And that's kind of the gist of it. And see, I don't think we've said anything that you can really put your finger on.
We can't, like, I wish we could just write down some laws. And if you follow these laws, it's going to work. Because everybody is so different and unique. It's just, you just have to find somebody that is willing to work with you. And you're willing to work with them. And you get along great. And you just want to spend time together.
And but first and foremost, find a person who is loving and kind. If that's, and you got to be loving and kind yourself. Otherwise, marriage might not be for you.
Unless it's two people that are compatible that are not loving
just
and
maybe
and they just kind of hang out together and are like,
That's true. Maybe they're compatible in all ways and even in that way.
Yeah, I'm sure that works.
That's really important. It's really important.
It is, definitely.
But this is really difficult to. It's not something, like I say, that you can put your finger on. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Okay.
And if dad's not happy, ain't nobody happy.
I don't think that's true. There was a study.
I think that's true.
There was a study on that, and I think they found that if the wife is happy in the relationship, everybody tends to be more happy. And I always want to make you happy. I naturally do. I always, when I was growing up, I loved women.
Yeah.
I thought women.
He still loves women.
Awesome. I just thought they were such amazing creatures, and I think that's part of my ability.
Yeah.
And you are a different kind of woman than I've ever met before.
Oh.
You really are. You're just a happy, real person. You're somebody I want to grow old with.
Oh.
And that's the way it was from the beginning.
Give me a kiss.
Oh yeah. People say we don't hug and kiss in our videos.
Yeah, but then I just saw one where we did.
Good.
Right after you told me people said that. Oh, it's pretty.
Well, that's...
So basically, I think...
Be kind to each other.
Be kind. Send love to each other. Give love to each other.
Be demonstrative. Don't be...
Spend time with each other.
Don't be selfish. When we've met in these many years we've been together, we've known a lot of people who got married, and of those marriages, a lot of dismal failure. And we've kind of looked at it and said, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah.
There, but for the grace of God.
We got lucky.
Yeah.
We are so grateful.
Not for but we've seen people who they enter into marriage as if they were entering into a competition.
Or like a contract.
But a competition, like my bank account, your bank account, and you don't do this, I do this, and you don't do that, and you and I, it's from the get-go. It was you were vacuuming, and then you were cleaning the counter, and I was like, well, I'm going to go build a fence around the pool, and I'm going to do. It was a competition to bring more to the table than the other person.
Yeah.
Like two little squirrels, a boy and a girl squirrel. You get nuts, I'm going to get some nuts, and we'll bring them, and we'll put them together, and we'll live through the winter together. That's really how it's been with us. It's been a competition to do more, not less. Yeah. And,
it's fun.
Some people may have a different take on that, and they might want to keep their money separate, and they're this separate and that separate. But a marriage is a marriage. It's a partnership, and split down the middle. Anyway, that's kind of all we got, folks. I wish when we sit down and really think about it, and maybe we can write some outline stuff, we'll let you know any further detail we can share. But that's it. Just find somebody who is generous of spirit and wants to do the sharing of life thing together, and best of luck to you. And a couple of side notes that we didn't touch on. How long did we wait before we were married?
maybe a little bit more than 4 years.
That's a considerable amount.
4.5 years.
That's enough time
Yeah.
for a college degree, right?
True.
So we spent those years learning
Yeah.
about our commitment and what we were sharing and how good we were at it.
Yeah.
Prior to meeting you that year, I was engaged.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they were getting ready to print up invitations. And it was just, everything was moving forward so fast, and I got scared because I didn't feel like I had what I eventually found with you. I didn't feel like I had that compatibility. So there's a lot to be learned from just that.
Yeah.
What was the best piece of advice that we got before we got married?
Move in together.
Wow. Who gave us that advice?
My dad.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What an amazing man. What a mature and wise thing to say. And we spent that time learning how compatible we were living
Mom
together.
didn't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Sorry,
it's a difficult thing for some people. It's a taboo for some people.
Mm-hmm.
But as youngsters, we sort of matured together and found out if we were capable of sharing in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just practice.
And ultimately, I also wanted to clarify that generosity of spirit is not generosity of trinkets and dollars and baubles. It is truly sharing those
love.
things inside of you that you can share.
Time.
Love. Exactly. And showing the willingness for commitment.
Yeah.
And so forth. Okay. And my father must have never went to bed. Because he was one of the angriest bastards I knew.
He wouldn't go to bed angry.
Yeah, he was an angry man. So, but from you I have learned joy, and I thank you.
You knew joy before me.
And I thank you.
Who is this joy anyway?
Oh no! Okay, stay tuned for our next video.